Hello viewers and welcome to part 3 of our Assetto Corsa Competizione coverage from E3 2018. We're just going to start off now going into the menu and selecting the Spa-Francorchamps circuit. Of course we're going to be racing in the Ferrari 488 GT3. Again in wet conditions. We're going to take a look at this. I'm looking at it for the first time. Bear in mind as ever that this is pre-alpha gameplay footage. That means there's a lot of additions still to put into the game. There's a lot of fine tuning and you will see perhaps occasional bugs in there, stuff they're working on. Either way, looking very nice at the moment. I mean, from just perspective graphically, I can already see they're looking at the grid. Lots of details been added in terms of refinement to the graphics engine and lighting engine and the way the rain is affecting everything. Really nice. Really nice as we see this little tour of the circuit first. Certainly the game's got the looks, no doubt about it. And really nicely modelled circuits. I remember, you know, when the first Assetto Corsa was released, visiting the development team, and there was one guy who made the tracks, just one guy, and it was a remarkable amount of work in terms of such a small team and what they brought together. And obviously as the resources have increased and their graphics engine has increased in terms of performance, you're seeing now sort of this reinvestment as we move to in the car. No shots of the outside of the car this time, which were nice last time, but in the car, either way, first thing I noticed, very detailed cockpit in this car, really nicely detailed, very different look to the Nissan we were in. You really do feel quite cocooned in this car. You do in some of these race cars. And we're starting with a rolling start. Quite a clear view in the rear view camera as well. And making our way down towards the start. So on the power, and away we go. The spray increases. Something I didn't notice so much in the last video, but with the field of cars, there is an increase in spray. Obviously none of it's affecting the windscreen at the moment, so that's still a work in progress. But either way, you'd be virtually blind going up there. I still think even more spray would look more authentic, but obviously you need to get that windscreen working properly in terms of the rain effects. And immediately everything looks really nice, as you would expect. The main thing for me is the handling. You can see the car moving around a lot. Understeer, getting on the curb, losing a bit of traction to the rear, correcting. So there is much more, again there, just keeping it together. You need to be quick with the actions to keep the car pointing in the right direction, and again very progressive with the throttle. So front sweeping out, a lot of understeer in these conditions, back end trying to get away, keeping that rear in the right way. As you get on the power, every time you're getting on the power on the exit, you see the car wanting to get away from you. So we use this front cam, which is always the cam I usually use, much more authentic in terms of a driving cam than the standard cockpit cam. I remember saying in a previous video in the past, you know, I'd use the bonnet cam because the standard cockpit didn't work for me on a single screen. This is much more authentic, you know, when you've got your dial right in front of your steering wheel rather than a second steering wheel. So with a full field of cars, the game really sort of comes to life. I mean, you're looking at it now and you know that they're going to be working on the physics. You know, the physics are going to be amazing once it's all done. Obviously there's still work to do. I don't think it's going to be finished overnight. I think this is going to be a work in progress on developing the tyre model. It will be released in early access at some point, and that will give the developers lots of data as they refine it and bring these elements together. You'll be able to have authentic racing experiences, among the most authentic, you know, anywhere. Now obviously for those of you probably questioning the AI at different times, I mean, we don't know where the AI is in terms of development yet or what setting it's on for this demo. This is more about showcasing for you guys a bit of gameplay and just how it all works. More detail needed in that rear view camera in terms of just spray here and there, but no doubt they're working on that. So all round, I mean, the weather conditions on the static circuit look good. There is some spray, but obviously that needs to affect the car. and we're seeing a difference in the handling, much more pronounced in this video than perhaps in the Monza video, part 2 that we watched from the recent clips. So we're seeing a lot more movement in the car as we see the outside car view. Not so much of a dry line appearing, but we do see obviously the reflections of the lights on the tarmac and various spot effects as well. As well as streaming water from the tyres of the car in front. Still able to use all the curbs. So far, I mean, it's looking nice. It seems to me at the moment there's still quite a bit of surprising amount of grip in terms of going over the lines and using the curbs. I would have always felt that in these conditions that you'd want to probably try and avoid those, use a bit more of a wet line, find the grip in a different place. There's no dry line appearing here, so wet tyres would work well. Down through Pouhon, tricky corner downhill, and then progressive on the power. I think our driver here is being a bit tentative. I think he could have overtaken these guys a bit sooner, so he's not necessarily on the limit, keeping it nice and clean for the demo. Just showing how the AI is working on the inside. So far so good. I mean, certainly we're going to have to wait and see what the final game, how it all comes together in the final product. As I say, I'll be speaking to developers at some point, but do let me know what you'd like to know in the comments if you have any questions, and as we get answers to those questions, I'll be sure to either put them on the website or on the channel here at some point, and we'll have a team chat as well. I'll be talking to a bit of Ben Green about his experiences as well in the racing in the wet, because it'll be interesting to get some of his sort of experience in terms of racing in these conditions, and perhaps some of his details that he'll spot as well. But that's it for me for now. I'm going to leave you with the last bit of gameplay in this video, a bit of no comment run, and there'll be more from me very soon.
Excellent job, mate. You're on target. Now bring it back home safely.